Guess who's back? Back again. Moles is back. Tell a friend. Does anybody know what song that came from? Anyways, a long time ago, back in Unit 3, we talked about moles and we did a bunch of conversions. Now the unit is coming back and it's going to be a full-fledged, long drawn-out unit. So we're going to have to remember everything that we learned before, and then I'm going to teach you some new stuff, okay? So remember, we talked about Avogadro's number. It has 6.02 times 10 to the 23. It's like 602 sextillion things, right? And so a long time ago, we said an atom and then now a molecule and particle are all part of Avogadro's number. So think of atom like an element. And then think of molecule like a compound. And then a particle could be a molecule or an atom. Okay, so it could represent either or. Then we talked about average atomic mass. Average atomic mass is going to be your molar mass. Anytime we're using the word mass, remember we always color it yellow, and that's always on the periodic table under the symbol. Okay? So if you remember, we always made our mass yellow, then we always made our moles green, and we always made our Avogadro's number blue. Okay, so let's try to remember all our fraction types, okay? So here, remember that moles is always green, right? So moles, 1 mole, 1 mole, and 1 mole. Moles is in every fraction, okay? So every fraction must have moles, okay? So a little note to yourself. Every fraction has moles. Okay? Then if it was in grams, we put it in yellow. So that's from the periodic table. That's on the periodic table. And then if it was atoms or molecules, we used Avogadro's number. Now remember what we pointed out the last time that we did this. What do you notice about the colors yellow and blue? Do you remember? Grams and atoms are never together. They're always going to be with a green color, never together. So once again, that's a very important note here. Grams and atoms, right, are never going to be together. It always has to be coupled with moles. So that's why you see here that every fraction has moles. Okay, here, 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 and here. Okay, so let's try to remember how to do these problems. Okay, so you're going to I'm going to do a practice problem, and then you're going to do a practice problem to see if you remember. Okay, so this was your map at the top. Remember that our atoms were always in blue, our moles was always in green, and our grams was always in yellow. So remember, moles was always sandwiched right in the middle. Okay, you have to go through green to get to the other side. Okay, so let's recap. If you have 5.4 times 10 to the 24 atoms of titanium, how many moles do you have? Okay, so you got to think about your map here. You're starting at atoms and you want to get to moles. Well, for us, atoms to moles is just one step. So that means I'm only going to need one fraction. Okay, so let me erase this. So you always write the number that you're starting with. 5.4 times 10 to the 24. Okay, whatever number you start with, that's the number you write. Now remember, if you have atoms, right? If you have atoms here, whatever goes on top must go on bottom. That is the rule. So you're going to write atoms down here on the bottom of the fraction. Then where were we going to go next? We're going to go to moles next, specifically 1 mole. It's always 1 mole. And remember, this is our next step right here. Okay? Now, atoms, what number always goes with atoms? Well, we know that every time you see atoms, you're going to use Avogadro's number. So you're going to write 6.02 times 10 to the 23 like this. When your top matches what your question asks, that means you are done with the problem. So on your calculator, you're going to do top divided by bottom. Remember, this line tells you to divide, and then we are going to get an answer. So go ahead and type it in, 5.4. Remember to use your E button, right? Second EE 24, okay? Divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23. So 6.02 E23. Don't forget the E. When you do that, you should get 8.97 moles of titanium. Okay? So I did this one. You try the next one. So I would pause here, try to do it on your own. If you are totally confused, you can continue playing. And if you think you got it, you can skip to the answer. Okay? So here we have 6.4 moles. Whatever number that they give you, that's the first number I'm going to always write down. 6.4 moles. And it's asking about atoms, right? So here, we're going from moles to atoms over here. So it's just one fraction. Just takes one step to get there. Okay, so whatever is on top, right? Whoops, wrong color. Whatever is on top here, right, always comes to the bottom down here, right? So you're going to end up writing the word mole here because they have to match. It's always going to be 1. Then you are going to go straight to atoms because you're going from here to here. Remember? So I'm going to write atoms here. And that's blue, right? So we colored it blue. Now every time you see the word atoms, what number are you going to use? Atoms always has 6.02 times 10 to the 23. Alright, so you're going to do top times top, and you can divide by 1. So do that on your calculator. Make sure you use that E button. Okay, the E button. Okay, if you forgot, remember it's like 6.02 E23, right? So if you do it in your calculator, you should get 3.85 times 10 to the 24. And then you always have to have your units. It's always a 3-part answer, right? So you have a number, you have the unit, atom,